have Andile Mguni here also from Track One. Andile, you are our South African delegate. I think you're our first South African delegate to actually join us on the podcast. Yes. So one thing I want to chat about is the fact that a lot of South Africans, or a lot of young South Africans, feel a little bit far removed from this Y20 process. Do you agree?
To an extent, but I think it's a feeling, and we have to acknowledge that in reality, you have to bring yourself closer and closer to the process to feel like you're a part of it. So there's an agency perspective that we can bring as young people to say, you know what, I want to be a part of it, and I'm going to push to be a part of it, and not just be a bystander and say, oh, but this is so far from me, let me not do anything about it. You can also bring yourself into the space. And there's a lot of people that sent emails, that sent DMs, like, how can I be a part of this? And there was an agency from our part because we're really focused on making this a very inclusive Y20. And I'm not just the face of myself, I'm the face of the country, of the real grassroots problems that we face, for me, from a climate change and environmental sustainability lens. So I can't be far removed from the people that are experiencing these challenges. You have to make sure that their voices are heard, but also given a chance and perspective within international fora.
And what do you say to those people that feel like, well, this is policy work and I'm not really well versed, when it comes to policy stuff? How do you think there's room for them to still participate?
Absolutely. I think what we have to understand is that policy work is necessary in governing how things have to work, and which is why we need reform in policy. We need reform in having young people as the face of policy to ensure that we're bringing policies for ourselves, but future generations, and being cognizant of that. But what's really, really important is that policy doesn't work if we don't act on it. And the people on the ground are the ones that have to do the work. So what we speak about here is in aid of the work that they have to do, that they are doing, and we want to acknowledge that that is relevant. Policy is only relevant if you act.
Sure. So this is like the first step. It's not even the major step. The big step is when we go out there and act. All right. And then in terms of your track, right? Because some young people feel like, climate, we have disasters here and there, but is it really a challenge, for an African country? Is it really a challenge for South Africa? What's your take on that?
I think it absolutely is. And I think maybe sometimes it's the phrasing of saying climate change that makes people feel like it's not relevant to them. If you articulate it in a way that is relevant to their everyday realities and how they're actually experiencing the effects of climate change, then it becomes more relevant to them. People do experience the natural disasters, and they know what it feels like to have the heat waves that affect their health, or to have pollution that, like, for the elderly particularly, that are directly affected by this. And you see the degradation within communities that are affected by climate change. So it's in how we articulate it for local South Africans who might not really understand what climate change is, to say the impacts, these 1, 2, 3, 4, however many impacts that you're facing are as a result of climate change, and that's why it's relevant to you, and it's relevant for us to, as South African and like Africans and Global South, to bring this to the forefront. We haven't been the biggest contributors to the effects of climate change, but we experience the biggest brunt as a result of that. So we need to say, one, we can be the leaders of the sustainability conversation from our context, and not necessarily wanting to emulate how the global north has driven their sustainability agendas. But for us, we can center sustainability from an equity perspective, acknowledging that we're facing this brunt. We need to do something about it. Our people cannot suffer as a result of it. It's relevant now, and we need to act now.
Sure, I love that, because I think a lot of us just think, Africa has always been hot, or we know, around this time, there's just floods in this area. It's become normalized. Yeah. But actually, we should be thinking about how do we solve it, and how do we prevent it, and how do we help, shield our people from getting, impacted by all these climate change or these natural disaster issues that are happening in the country.
And we saw it last year, right, when it snowed in September. In what way is it actually a possibility for it to snow, particularly in regions in KZN where it snowed in September. That is a direct indication of that our climate is shifting and these impacts are affecting us. I mean, it might have been fun for people to say, hey, we're in snow. But people were stuck, and they were actual, like, I think that should have been an indicator to say, wait a minute, like, this is not our normal, and even the heat that we're experiencing is no longer the normal heat that would have been traditionally African. It's getting hotter and hotter. The world is literally going to burn if we don't act on climate.
And what do you say to the people that feel like, look, we haven't destroyed the world, a lot. As Africa, we've just contributed a little bit to the carbon emissions. And some people feel like, well, come on, give us a little bit of room. We need to industrialize a bit. We need to increase our carbon emissions a bit before you guys put strict regulations. Okay, what do you say to that?
That is a hard conversation, but my stance on that has always been that we cannot look to emulate how particularly the global north has gotten to their economic rise to the detriment of our people. So even if we haven't contributed vastly to climate change, what we're experiencing the brunt of it. So if we continue to emulate that, we're just guaranteeing that we're going to suffer even more. So what I'm saying is we need to see opportunity within the just transition, opportunity within sustainability to say we can find solutions that also empower us economically. So to see possibility in this challenge that we're facing.
Oh, that's a word. That's a word. See possibilities in this challenge that we're facing. I love that. Thank you for your time. And I'm pretty sure everything went well because I think that there's a lot of common understanding when it comes to track one because everybody feels the sun, everybody experiences the natural disasters. So thank you for serving our country.
Thank you. So it's been an honor to serve my country and speak for youth as a young person, but also for the people on the ground. Like, it matters so much to me that we have someone that is directly connected in these spaces that doesn't forget that it's about the lived experiences at the end of the day.
Thank you. Oh no, you came alive.
You're great.